Monsieur Roth, as we sit here this evening at the console built by Cavaillé-Coll for what was once the largest organ in all of France, we know that this organ did not just happen overnight, and we know that many builders contributed to the effectiveness and the beauty of this organ. But we'd particularly like, at this point, to speak about Aristide Cavaillé-Coll. Could you tell us about his background, how he started, and his family of organ builders?
Aristide Cavaillé-Coll was a member of a large family of organ builders, going way back to the 18th century. And his ancestors were students of the famous Isnard, the organ builder who has made this wonderful instrument in Saint-Maximin, dans le Var. These first Cavaillé organ builders have trained then Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre is the grandfather of Aristide, and Jean-Pierre, his son, was Dominique, the father of Aristide, and so we come to these two brothers, Aristide and Vincent Cavaillé-Coll. Coll is the name because one of this ancestor of Cavaillé has married a lady from Spain, from Catalonia, and her name was Coll, and it was the habit that then the members of the family have both names, Cavaillé-Coll. And they were settled in Toulouse, and one day we know that Giacomo Rossini, the famous composer, came to Toulouse for one of his opera, which was played in the theater of Toulouse, and he did need a little organ. Then the people from the opera told him, we have an organ builder family here in Toulouse, you can try, you know. And he went to the family, Cavaillé-Coll, and Dominique presented him his sons, and especially Aristide. And Aristide had just invented a little instrument whose name is poikilogue, which was not an organ, not a harmonium, something in between. And Rossini was very happy to be able to use this instrument for his opera. And talking with Aristide, he saw how intelligent this young man is, and he said to his father, you should send this young man to Paris. I will introduce him. I have many good people which I know, and influent people. Please, you should send him. Vincent to Paris, and Rossini has introduced him to influent people, and shortly after they asked him to make a proposal for the great organ of Saint-Denis Basilica, and so this organ was finished in 1841, and it was just a revolution in the organ world in France.
Now, Saint-Denis is a suburb of Paris?
Yes, in the north of Paris. Great, wonderful Gothic cathedral in which you find all the tombs of the kings of France.
So that organ was primarily the family Cavaillé-Coll, not just Aristide at that point. Is that correct?
I think that Aristide made most of the work, of the preparation, of the conception of the organ. but his father was there to help, and his brother also to help making the pipes and so on.
And their organ factory was located in Paris.
Yes, it was located Rue Notre-Dame-de-Lorette at the time. They did both organs, Saint-Denis and Notre-Dame-de-Lorette, almost in the same time.
Notre-Dame-de-Lorette, probably famous to most people because it was one of the early churches of César Franck,
Exactly.
who was also a great proponent of Cavaillé-Coll and his instruments.
Yes.
So after the Saint-Denis organ, what was the next major step for the Cavaillé-Coll firm?
Many organs were built then at that time, La Madeleine, Saint-Vincent-Paul, and then also he did some important tours through Europe to know the great organ builders. He was especially interested in the work of Walker, the German organ builder, and so when he was asked to build the instrument here in Saint-Sulpice, he was probably very much impressed by the organ of 100 stops which Walker had built in Ulm Cathedral, and also another organ in Europe, in England, in Liverpool, built by Willis, also 100 stops. So